basic setup. Good morning and welcome back to my workshop, or should I say my mobile workshop for now. And in today's video I'm going to show you just the basic setup. It's October and we're back in lockdown. It's unbelievable what hobbies we get to keep us busy in the lockdown. In any case, let me show you how I do the basic setup. I'll start off showing you the water connections. It's pretty basic. The water pump is in my water container. I've got about 7 liters of water in there. The water pump is covered with water, and then obviously you have an in and an outlet. Now the holes I've drilled are fairly snug, and there you've got your water inlet from the water pump, inlet and back out just into the container. Very basic. This is the air pump. Outlet, well, that's the inlet, outlet and into the machine. And that is for your air assist. This is the extractor fan outlet. I'll put a reducer on here. So I came up with this as an extraction system to outside. And I've put a wire bracket in here so I can actually adjust the length. Got a little loop on top. I hooked that on there to keep it in a straight line. And that's all the things in the back. Pretty basic, easy to do. The next thing to set up is all your power connections. This is obviously the mains. You also have 2 universal plugs. This can take a European plug, and I think this is the American plug. The 2 flat pins, I'm not sure, or could be the 2 round pins. Anyway, you have one for your water pump and one for your air pump for the air assist. And then at the bottom you have a supply cable which goes in there. That's your earth connection. Now with all modern houses, everything is earthed. I opened the back panel and actually checked that the earth connection is connected, so I am earthed. Okay, the next connections. On the top half you have 3 connections, 2 USB and 1 network. Bottom one's the network, the middle one is for USB flash drive, and then the top one is when you connect it to your computer. This is the supply cable, magnetized. Very happy that it's actually long enough. It's longer than usual. There you go. The next 2 buttons is your bed, to raise and lower the bed. Easy peasy. Actually what I did when I designed the trolley, I made a gap underneath, so the hole underneath, just for a little bit of stock, whatever work is in progress. powers unplugged. And those are all the electronics. All neatly done, power supply and so on and so on. So what I did, I took a little bit of a rubber strip. So that fits. When the machine is operational, and it, especially with the side movement, and did this, but with the rubber inside, no problem whatsoever. Okay, that's the side panel. On top, you have your emergency stop button. And for some reason, after you've unpacked and you've set up and your machine doesn't work, that means it's an emergency stop. Okay, then you've got your control panel. Nothing to set up. I use it all in its defaults. And then whatever information comes from the computer goes in there. The operation, I'll do in the next video. Origin is very important. Framing your work is very important. And then the rest, a pulse for just checking your laser. And then also when you do mirror alignment. But that we'll do in another video. So let's move on to the inside. The Perspex had a protective cover. I just took a little blade, went around on the inside and the outside and just ripped it off, cleaned it nicely, and that is the inside. So the reason why I just took a little blade, imagine loosening all these bolts with a little nuts. That will make you go nuts. Anyway, this is the inside. Let me switch on the machine. Just for a bit more light. There goes to its last origin point. Now, important inside. Let me just move this back. Okay, have a look. Now, these are just test burns. Now, one thing I can criticize about, not really criticize, something that's short. I have ordered a honeycomb bed. Now, very important with the honeycomb bed, that's 2 centimeters high, 20 mils. You don't put it down flat. I'm going to raise it off slightly because you want air to move in all directions, and that helps you with your extraction. So, as a temporary measure, I've taken a piece of 5mm MDF and I've just put a few nails in it just to keep the work off the surface, and once again for ventilation. Here's a closer look. Nails to keep it off the surface, but more about the cutting in another video. That's the inside. I was quite surprised that the light was intact. Everything is intact. These 2 front panels, maybe to assist with airflow, but up to now I haven't had any reason to use that. There's a small extra one as well. And that's the bottom. That is just a cavity for your bed movement up and down, and it's belt driven and the motor is at the back. And that's the inside. So the next thing to do is I'm just going to show you the back by extraction system, how all the pipe and connections fit together. So let's go to the back. Now what I've done as a temporary measure, I've put a removable, it's actually loose, side panel in here. Let me just lift it, get it back in. There you go, nicely in position. There you go. That actually fits into the slot of the table. So let me show you the connection. Very basic, very easy. The important thing is that it's effective. Okay, this is in a straight line and it's shortened. Very easy and basic. There we go. What I've done, I've made a little box for it. It is thin PVC, so you want it to last, and that goes in the back. Laser cutting, the concept of laser cutting. Such a complex subject, but yet it could be very basic. The whole purpose of me doing these videos is, you know, before I bought mine and while I was waiting for delivery, I watched about 100 videos on people with their K40 and their laser. Very informative. Now a lot of people did modifications, and they did this and the extraction and the water cooling and so on and so on. My purpose is to keep this all at its default operation, using the supplied extractor fan, supplied water pump. So far, everything is working fine, perfect. You also look at safety. That's more the complex side of the laser cutting. You have to be responsible. You have to look at safety. Just one example, I have a little fire extinguisher. Maybe it's overkill, but safety first, always. I got myself proper laser goggles rated for this machine, and let me tell you, even with basic cutting, looking at the cutting, if you don't use this, I don't know if a lot of you people have done any welding, you get arc eyes. Something to think about. Anyway, that's safety, but more about that in another video. Talking about safety, just the last point, storage. Don't use the bottom or underneath your bed, anywhere for storage. Don't leave any material lying around, paper, wood, anything. The laser tube operates at a very high voltage, so be careful and keep it clean. Stick to basics. So something very complex can be very simple if you work safe and keep things clean. That should apply for anything in any workshop. Anyway, enough about that. So this was just a short video to show you all the connections. So call me Mr. Basic. I'm going to keep things basic and to the default. And in the next video, I'm going to do a bit of test and proof cutting. And I'll say something about the software. Once again, default software. RD works. I use that in association with CorelDRAW. Export, import, use. I don't have any problems whatsoever. But the software for another video. And the next video will be a bit of test cutting. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. I'm trying to give information for the first time user. It can be very overwhelming. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions, any comments, If you want to correct me in any way, please leave it in the description below. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell for more videos like this. And until the next time, happy laser cutting. Lekker lekker.